Hello everyone, my name is matam. In today's episode, I'll be teaching you the human anatomy on skull. And in today's lecture, I will be completing on every part of the bones of human skull, as well as the some ligaments as well as muscles associated with them. And this is my uh, notes I used to refer from our college. And so you might also be referring to other book as well. So I also refer many books, and I find it quite difficult to understand, but I find easy for this uh, note. So bear with me. I'm not the expert in here. I'm just going to express my knowledge, what I have learned so far, and I will be letting you know about the parts of bones, particularly found in our cranium part. So let's start from the beginning. So I've just transferred my file into GoodNote so as to make it feasible to teach. Yes, so I will my lecture strategies will start from the brain. Okay, from brain part, which means I mean skull, and then I will come to vertebra, and then to uh, limbs, which found mostly in our hand, arm, and in the leg. So I will start from the skull for this lecture. So this is line by line, meaning line by line lecture. So so it will be much beneficial for someone uh, who are not found themselves to read with the lecture note. I will make it easy by concising it, and then also with I find this anatomy note quite easy, so you can also easily understand, I hope. So let's start from the beginning. The skull cranium makes up the skeleton of the head. It is the most complicated part of the skeleton, which serves a receptacle for the brain, which means just like a receptive of many information about sensation, about vision and hearing also. So and it also helps in the maintaining our posture, equilibrium in the equilibrium state, and as I mentioned, olfactory and gustatory organ also. uh, it also serves as a support for the initial section of digestive and respiratory system. It also maintains, it means maintain the our cardiovascular as well as gastrointestinal tract, to be precise, for regulation in the equilibrium. So the human skull is made up of 23 bones, 8 paired, 7 unpaired. It consists of cranial skull, neurocranium in Latin, and the facial visceral skull. It is also called as visceral cranium. The neurocranium is situated above the facial bone and contains the brain. So Let's suppose this is a human brain. Sorry, this is human brain, and here this is the facial part, and this is the cranium part. So it uh, it is associated with uh, frontal, parietal, as well as occipital, temporal. So those are of cranium part, and only the facial part is now considered to be visceral cranium. And then the neurocranium is found by the frontal, occipital, sphenoid, parietal, temporal, ethmoid bones and their junctions. The visceral cranium consists of bone of the masticatory apparatus, namely the upper lower jaw, as well as small bones, as I have mentioned, which forms walls of the orbit. Orbit is the or eyeball containing hollow portion, and the nasal and oral cavity. A special position is occupied by the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone is present in the within the nose, and which is situated in anterior. Oh, sorry. A special position is occupied by the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone is contained in our neck, which is situated in the anterior region of the neck. Then let me label this for you. So as we all know before that this part is frontal and this part is parietal and occipital and temporal, and then we have to discuss in quite a little bit in detail here. As we all know, this is orbital, as I mentioned, and the only important part to be known in a conscious way is that this higher bones which contained in our neck area, I don't think it is depicted here with this according to this points. So the only important part to be known is that this is the maxillary mandible part, sorry, and this is the maxillary part, and another important part is this one. As we know, it is styloid process, and this one is also important, which is zygomatic arc. This is a zygomatic arc, and then important are this one also. This is the 17th one, which would be exterior acoustic opening. This is where all the information about hearing from external environment will be transmitted through nerve at this hole. And then this one is also important. 16, it should be master process. This is master process. These are the little few things you should be aware of. And other things you might be already aware of it. And number 6 one is also important. This portion, lacrimal bone. This is the first anterior part will be lacrimal bone, and in the posterior part it would be ethmoid bone. And then Um, Another is, I think you will be quite familiar with it. Uh, there's nothing left to give more emphasis in here. So after that, the bones of the cranial skull. The frontal bone, os frontale in Latin, takes part in formation of the clav- clavaria of the skull, the anterior cranial fossa, and the orbit. The frontal bone consists of squamous part and the orbital and nasal part. The frontal squama frontalis, has a convex external surface on which there are two frontal tuber. On this side, the squama is convex. The frontal squama continue into the orbital part, forming the paired sub supraorbital margin. So what it means is that, as we already discussed, in skull it has anterior portion which contains orbit, anterior cranial fossa which is orbit portion, and frontal bone consists of squamous part. Squamous is a type of a bone, as we all know that squamous and spongy type and flat bone type and all those type of bones are all, particularly squamous bones are found in frontal bone, and the orbital and the nasal part also found in the skull part. And it says the frontal squama frontalis has a convex external surface. Frontal part is one, this portion, frontal part has a frontal tuber also present there. Frontal tuber is a type of group which forms attachment site for ligament. On the inside, the squama is concave. Inside the squama, we would see a concave type of. The frontal squama is quite like a membrane, but it continues into orbital part, forming a paired supraorbital margin. On the supraorbital ridge near the nasal part of the bone, it is a supraorbital notch. Sometimes this notch is present in form of the supraorbital foramen. I think you might heard some noises here, but bear with me as I'm shooting this in my main road, so it's quite noisy. So bear with me. Okay, I will repeat again. On the supraorbital ridge near the nasal part of the bone, it is supraorbital notch. There contains supraorbital notch. It means near the nasal part, which is here, nasal part. Sometimes this notch is present in the form of supraorbital foramen. Okay, it says it is present in form of supraorbital foramen. Yeah, okay. In the middle part of the supraorbital ridge, a small frontal notch foramen can usually be found. The lateral supraorbital margin as the zygomatic process, which has a thick base and narrow end. This is important. The lateral supraorbital margin and as the zygomatic process, which has a thick base and narrow end. A temporal line passes to the base and upward from the process above the supraorbital ridge On its side, there are pen-like protuberance called superciliary arch. In Latin, it is arcus superciliary. Between the two superciliary arches, there is flattened area called glabella. This is the important thing you should be aware of. Glabella.